Russell Wilson, you can't win every game that way, especially against good teams, which means as long as they keep with this stupid approach and philosophy, I don't see how they can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you say that, and I hear what you're saying, because quite frankly, for a long, long time, that was basically the Packers offense, right? Aaron Rodgers willing the team to victory. I think the difference in, the Packers offense of old and the Seahawks offense is your boy, my boy, John Schneider. He gives you guys plenty of weapons. I think you should be more optimistic than maybe you feel today about the future. That's a good team over there, and John will get you right back in the mix. I wouldn't sweat that too much.
So let's talk about. I know they're going to be mad at us for taking up too much time. I don't care. You're right. Aaron Jones didn't do much, but man, Devontae Adams was unstoppable. 8 catches, 160 yards. He missed 4 games this year. Your team went 4-0 in that stretch. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, Devontae Adams, he's a good player, but he can't be that good. Oh my God, he was embarrassing the defense on the field. What the hell makes him such a good player?
A good couple yards of separation at the top of his stem, pretty much all the time. You saw that on at least one of those touchdowns. I don't know, agree the second one. But the other thing is he's the one guy that Aaron Rodgers trusts inherently in our receiving core. You know that when it's third down, unless he's double, triple covered, again in man coverage, that the ball is going to go to him. And fortunately for Green Bay today, we were able to connect on a lot of those deeper passes to him, to other people. But those are throws that really haven't been there for us for most of the year, which was one of the reasons why I was so surprised that there was less Aaron Jones carrying the mail for us today and more, not necessarily vintage Rodgers, because he doesn't run around like he used to. They said on the telecast today he rushed for just his 9th first down all season today. So definitely not the guy we're used to seeing from 3-4 years ago, but he still has enough magic left in that arm. We were able to get the win today.
So, not to make everything all sour grapes, I do want to point out that the officiating today sucked. It started with the Packers getting completely screwed on a fumble, and it didn't end from there. There was a number of bad calls. I think that was clearly not a touchdown, but again, I think we're both like, all right, that kind of balances out with that stupid non-fumble. But, I mean, NFL officiating almost makes me wish the replacement refs. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I'm just throwing that out there. And then on top of it, I have to call out a couple of things that the Seahawks did in this game that I thought were just egregious. The main one, though, is crawled back from down 21-6. It's 28-23. You're within a score, and you got the ball. It's like the dream scenario, especially based on that. Right? This is exactly, if the Seahawks win, this is exactly the blueprint for how they win. And you have a drop pass. You have 3rd and 6 become 4th and 10 or what. You're at midfield and you punt the ball away, and your defense has stopped Green Bay all of about 0 times for the entire night. And instead of giving the ball to your best player, and in my opinion, the best player in the field, especially at that point with how red hot he was, instead of giving it to Russell Wilson, and you put the ball away, you trust your defense, which defense in the league, and an atrocious defense in this game, and you say, okay, yeah, you guys will make the stop, and then you never get the football ever again. And that is stupid. It is insulting as a fan, and I am still just super fired up about it, and I don't know if I'm going to stop being mad about that anytime soon.
That's the hard part about being a super fan, about being a fan, is things like that. You've got a long time between now and when there's meaningful football again to just marinate in that. Believe me, I mean, we both lost plenty of high-stakes games, being 2 pretty good football teams over the last decade. That it just sucks. So I feel for you, Justin. But I will say, short of just blowing the Seahawks out, very little would give me much more pleasure than listening to the Seahawks fans complain about bad officiating, given the history between these 2 teams. So you can think that. Just know that I'm basking in the glory on this end.
What a you're such a jerk. Yeah, Told you though, man, but I mean, there was never a point in this game where you could feel comfortable. Not with Russell Wilson on the sideline, and so it is what it is. I mean, it could have been 30-0 at the half, and people were checking in on me when at the half, and I'm just like, no, I'm fine. My needle hasn't moved. I don't feel like they're any less likely to win than when the game started.
Yeah. It was really par for the course for Green Bay too. That's kind of been our formula so far this year. It's been a good formula, I guess, so far, but we've had this tendency to really get out to an early lead and then have to hang on for dear life at the end of these games. So that kind of, the formula that the Seahawks followed and the formula that the Packers followed, they were true to each other today.
Yep, keeping cardiologists employed nationwide. Next week, you've got the Niners NFC Championship game. Your squad got pretty banged up today. I know it'll be a little while before we hear about how that's going to affect the game itself. But what are your early thoughts about your upcoming championship game?
As good as I felt about playing Seattle coming into this week, I feel the opposite about San Francisco. I think that defense is stronger at most levels than the Seahawks are, and their rushing attack. We didn't see the Seahawks really get in gear running the ball traditionally, not the non-Russell Wilson edition. But that's a team that can run the ball pretty effectively, and that has been the weakest part of our defense throughout the year. So obviously the playoffs this year have been very unpredictable. I think maybe that plays into our favor. I can't imagine many folks are going to pick us to win, especially given how poorly we played there earlier this year. I have a hard time seeing a way to victory, but give me until Friday of this week, and maybe I'll have a different viewpoint.
There you have it. Seahawks fall. Offseason has begun. My number one pick would be a new offensive coordinator, but that's just me. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. I would love for you to knock off the 49ers just because they're a division rival. I don't hate them that much because I don't think they're really a great team and not a big rival, but I would just rather not see them win it. So if you could take care of business, that would be great. I would love to see a Green Bay versus Chiefs Super Bowl. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I'm counting on you to make that happen. With that, this is the Seahawks Superfan signing off.
Thanks to all our Superfans. You're going to hear from Nick and Jordan and Brian and Charlie later on this week when we do our championship weekend preview. Already at the NFL championships. It's unbelievable how quickly the NFL season really goes. Make sure you tell a friend about this podcast. That's a great way to help us out, help support the show, help us get a few more listeners onto this show as we look forward to the off season. We've got draft stuff coming on. If you want to check out any of the stuff that I've been doing, I'm the executive producer over at Locked On. I swear I've not abused any of my powers to be a guest, but I have been talking about the Patriots and some of the things that the Patriots need to do moving forward. Just go and check out Locked On NFL with my good buddy Matt Williamson and Brian Peacock. I almost called him Brian Williamson. I almost put the two of them together. It's a little early for that. It's Brian Peacock, Matt Williamson, Locked On NFL, and I was also a guest on the Locked On Patriots podcast with Mr. Debate. All you need to do is go and check those out anywhere great podcasts are heard, or go to lockedonpodcasts.com. I will be back again with the Superfans as we preview the NFL Championship weekend. Until then, here's Andy Dalton. There you have it.
I never even heard his interview, so I don't know the context in which it was said. I don't know what he said before. I don't know what he said after. So I still haven't seen it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care, But I've got no ill will towards Jay. There's no feud between me and Jay. I think we lost the game. He said what he said, and we're moving on. That's in the past now.